Is Houston, Texas a safe city to live in? It's a yes, no, maybe. Let me get into it. Howdy friend, my name is Paul Holub. I'm the broker here at Traditions Realty, and I help people relocate to the Houston area. And one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they look at a headline about crime in Houston or in any area and just say, okay, because of this, it applies to all of Houston. And that couldn't be further from the truth, because Houston is a massive city, and there are definitely some areas that have high rates of crime and then some that don't. And so I want to dive into a little bit more about, is Houston a safe city? And as well as, how does it compare to other cities in Texas? So is Houston safe? And I think, again, you need to get a little more specific, because Houston is such a massive city. So many different parts. You have, your urban cores, you have warehouse districts, you have suburbs, master planned communities, kind of everything in between. And so to say, is all of that safe? Well, it's definitely going to depend on what area you're in. So that would be the first thing, is Houston is so big that you need to figure out what area you're specifically talking about. So there's actually a better question to ask yourself than, is Houston safe? And this is really because everybody's a little bit different. What is safe to them is, obviously a little bit subjective based on if you're a single person or married or living roommates or wherever you're at in life. I mean, it's definitely a little bit subjective. So what I would encourage you to ask is, which parts of Houston fit my lifestyle and my comfort level? So asking yourself that question kind of rephrases it. Is this safe? Is there crime? Because there's crime everywhere, especially in big cities as big as Houston. But you're gonna figure out what feels safe to you. And here, coming up in a little bit, I'm gonna share with you a process to go about, one, to check some stats, but also to figure out if it is an area that you feel comfortable with. But first, I'd love to hear from you. If you've already started touring or spent some time here in Houston, what areas felt safe to you? So go ahead and comment that below. So how do you decide if an area is a good fit for you or not, if you feel safe and comfortable there? Well, there's 4 things you may want to consider doing. And the first off is to really start broad. I really think that it's important and helpful to check the stats. What are the crime stats for that particular area? Not the broad area, what's the particular area? You can check police beats by the different beats and get very granular. Or there's other crime maps that I have, websites to crime maps in the description. So you can do your own research to see if that crime rate is something that you would consider or not. So again, start big, and that would be the first one. The number 2 thing to do would really be to get into the area and to drive it during the day, during the evening, and at night. See if you feel comfortable walking around. See what it's like there. See what people are doing, and if it's a place you would consider living. I think it's good to get all of those, and even consider myself. I like to consider if I would, feel comfortable walking my dog around in the evening, possibly even at night. So those are good things to ask yourself. The third thing to do would also be to consider, what are the surrounding areas? Are they mostly residential, or is it more warehouse industrial? Is it a mix of different things there in that area, and would that contribute to higher or lower rates of crime? Those are definitely things to consider when you're driving around. And the fourth, and probably the most important thing to do, is really to walk around and ask some of the neighbors who actually live in that area. Ask them if they feel comfortable living there, if they've had any issues with crime or break-ins, and what their thoughts are on living in the area. So let me share with you how Houston compares to the other major cities in Texas. First off, these are based on 1,000 people, and these are for violent crimes only. So I'm ruling out right now property-related crimes. So first off is Austin, coming in at 4.67 incidences per 1,000. Next is San Antonio at 5.95. Then you have Dallas at 6.7. And Houston does unfortunately come in last at 11.62 incidences per 1,000. And so it's not a great look, but there are some very safe areas. So if you're wondering about what are the safest areas of Houston to consider moving to, watch this video next.